Mike, any thoughts there?
Yeah, look, the biggest tragedy of this whole thing is that this case was even brought. Massive case of prosecutorial misconduct. Anybody that watched the video and paid attention to the fact pattern could clearly see there is no more clear-cut case of self-defense.
Yeah.
But that didn't fit a narrative.
Yeah.
And look, going into this, courageous jurors, 80% of the jury pool was concerned about violence in Kenosha after the fact, and over 60% thought he was guilty going in the trial. So courageous jury pool, and the justice system does work. We never should have been here in the first place.
Yeah, and that was even before MSNBC decided to follow the jurists. All right, we will take a break. When we come back, Bill on Wall Street, top investors watching your money. Joining me right now is the founder of Michael Lee Strategy, Michael Lee, Bulltick Capital Markets Chief Strategist, Catherine Rooney Vera, and Bell Point Asset Management Chief Strategist, David Nelson. Great to see you. All right, Mike, we've got a new poll by CBS and YouGov finding 67% of Americans disapprove of the way Biden is handling inflation. These bad numbers following another poll from Fox News that says inflation and surging prices are the top economic problem facing the country. Now, there is an article in the Journal this morning saying that we might be seeing some easing of the supply shortages, fewer ships in the Pacific. Your thoughts on where we are on all of these issues as we approach the most expensive Thanksgiving in recent years?
Yeah, the problem with the inflation that we're seeing right now, particularly at the gas pump, is that this affects everybody, okay? And particularly low information, low propensity voters are noticing their paychecks simply aren't going as far at the grocery store, at the pump, and everything else. And they're starting to realize it's a lot harder to buy goods or find a new place to live than any point in recent history. And most of this generation alive today weren't around in the late 70s and early 80s, and those that do remember it do not have fond memories of that period. And so what is the Biden administration doing about this? Well, oil prices have skyrocketed almost by design. When you have a hard left ideology, you demonize fossil fuels, and you want people paying more at the pump to force them to act a certain way, to live a more green life. The problem is when this affects your home heating oil in a cold winter, if you're unable to afford an electric car or install a car charger in your garage or buy a Tesla or a Prius, this can really affect you negatively. And then you look at the logjam at the Port of LA, and instead of having a laser focus and a task force for the last 6 to 9 months to try to resolve that, you have the Secretary of Transportation taking months off at a time for maternity leave. So you have a dangerous combination with hyper-left partisan politics, incompetence, and indifference towards the working man in America. So this is going to be really, really hard to escape the stigma of higher inflation for this administration as long as it persists. And it's been going on long enough now to where I can't see us getting supply gluts to where a lot of prices come back down. So I think this is a political killer. Inflation is not only going to be a political killer for the Biden administration, it is for basically every regime and every political power kind of in history. So unless they can really attack this really quickly, I don't see this problem going away for them.
Yeah, we'll see how you want to invest around it. Do you want to own those companies with pricing power?
Well, look, I think for those that have been able to accumulate financial assets, whether it be in stocks or real estate, this is a good time for you. And Stephanie Rule was on NBC News saying the quiet part out loud that if you're rich, this is good for you. Okay, the problem is there's a lot of low propensity swing voters that do not have a large stock portfolio, may not even own any real estate, that are really feeling the pinch, and it's those people across the Midwest that swing elections. So I could see a big power change coming in the next 12 months.
All right. Thank you so much, Catherine Rooney Vera and David Nelson. Great to see you both. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Mike, you're sticking around with us. We're happy about that. We'll see you soon, everybody. Thank you. Quick break. Any thoughts?
Yeah, look, you get the government you vote for. In San Francisco, you have a Soros-funded DA ultra left wing, defund the police, no cash bail, every left wing talking point that's obviously total and complete nonsense. But now you're seeing the repercussions of this, where there's no consequence for breaking the law, and then so surprise, surprise, you have lawlessness. It's disgusting. This shouldn't be happening in America. And to Dagan's point, remember, we're using the Patriot Act, the counterterrorism, to go after parents who want to have a say in their children's education, not coordinated crime waves ripping off tens of millions and billions of dollars of goods.
Yeah, well, it starts at and when, in fact, they're perfectly fine going to open up shop in communist China where there is genocide going on. Michael, your thoughts? Let's point out, this is the second disappearance of somebody who went against the CCP in just a few months. Jack Ma, remember, was disappeared for several months after he made the mistake of being critical of the regulatory framework in China of financial services.
Maria, let's just remember, the smart people, the elites, those in charge have told us all along the point of doing business in China and opening them up is that over time, the money they're making will turn them into a democracy and bring them more towards the Western ways, where in reality, what's going on in China is they've exported communism to much of our country. The outrage over Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving not taking vaccine is exponentially higher than the outrage over this Chinese tennis star accusing a senior official of rape and being disappeared. And I think Enes Kanter is really the true social justice warrior of the NBA, actually fighting injustice in the world. And he's done a great job calling out none other than LeBron James. And if you look at the amount of money that the NBA is trying to make in China, along with Nike, their major partner, it's just, these are not the people that should be lecturing us on anything. And it's really just tragic how much people are willing to ignore atrocities across the world for money, but very quickly to criticize anyone in America that goes against any one of their narratives.
Yeah, spot on.